What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the 2017-2018 season previews. Today, I'm going to be doing the preview for the Arizona Coyotes. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So, John Chayka and company had a very busy offseason, adding Nicholas Chalmerson to the point, Derek Stefan to the center court, Antti Ranta, and Nick Cousins. So, first off, saying when you add Antti Ranta, you're their goaltending should be fixed. If Ranta can step in and prove that he is worth that number one time, because there was all that talk that Vegas should be taking Ranta and Grubauer because they both play behind some really good goalies and they're starters. So if Ranta can come in, prove that he can handle being a starter, I don't see him having. I see him having probably 55 starts. I don't know about 60. 60 might be pushing it for a guy who's never been a number one in his career. So 50, 55 starts for Ranta. If Ranta can come in, prove that he can handle that time and be a number one, that's a plus for them. They add Nicholas Chalmerson, and when you add him, you're not adding scoring. You're adding his defensive ability and his ability to be able to play defense. So they added that. That should help them keep the puck out of their net. But mostly what they added, they didn't really add that many points scoring. Like Cousins only had 16 points, Chalmers had 18, and Stefan's not bad. He had 55, but I see him probably sliding in the number 3 or number 2 role, but we'll get down to that later. So if you look at what they lost, they only lost a few prospects. They lost Brendan Warren, Mike Smith's not a prospect. I think Mike Smith and Antti Ranta. I think Antti Ranta will cancel out the blow of losing Mike Smith, and he might even be better. You never know. Connor Murphy, nah. Laurent Dolphin, prospect. Anthony D'Angelo, who's a prospect that someone has a good future, but he's known to be a real pain in the butt. Then you lose Shane Doan, who's like an all-time Coyote. So when we get to their lineup, you look at it. So what I have is I have the big Clayton Keller as their first line center, playing with Max Domi and Tobias Reeder. There's obviously a hole. Tobias Reeder's not a first line right winger. I don't even think he's a second line right winger, but who knows? He can come in and prove that he's worth that time. But I feel like Max Domi playing with a fast playmaking Clayton Keller could really help him out because he hasn't really had anyone to play with. Because if you look at their center core right now, all of the centers on their team did not play in the NHL. No, they didn't play on the Coyotes last year in the NHL. But so I have their center core being Keller number 1, Dylan Strome number 2, Stefan as their third line center, and Nick Cousins. And so their second line, obviously, at left wing, I have Lawson Krause, who came in and really impressed last year. I feel either him or Max Domi will be able to take that number 1 role. But if you look at it, the Arizona Coyotes really have that depth at left wing in their prospects. Dylan Strome at center, I feel like he's finally took the time. He's been able to develop his foot speed. He's developed his goal scoring. He should be able to step in. He doesn't more have to be that number 1 center, that franchise-changing player now, because he has Clayton Keller ahead of him. So it should be a little easier on him. He developed his foot speed. I think he'll be able to step into that number 2 role, and I think he'll be able to do really, really good in it. Then I have Anthony Duclair on the other wing. I think Duclair's left-handed, but they had too many left wingers. I don't think you want to put Christian Dvorak on the fourth line. I think it's already a little too bad to putting him on the third line, but yeah, so obviously their third line, I have Christian Dvorak, Derek Stefan, who's a strong two-way player. Um, he'll be fine playing that defensive role because you want to put those young guys up front to get that speed. I mean, look what Toronto did with Nazem Kadri didn't have to focus on scoring goals. He was just able to focus on being the shutdown, and that even helped out his goal scoring. So who knows what it could do for Stefan. Now I have Brendan Perlini, another left winger. So yeah, they have too many left wingers. But their fourth line, I have Jamie McGinn, whatever, Nick Cousins, whatever. He can play a little bit of defense, I guess. And Brad Richardson, they're just fourth line guys. Their defense definitely improved. OEL, who's top 10 in the league for me, a top 10 defenseman. Who doesn't want a top 10 defenseman? And you add Nicholas Chalmerson, who's able to play defense. That could be really good. Maybe be like a little bit of an Erik Karlsson, Mark Mathot pairing. Chalmerson, to me, is better than Mathot, and Karlsson's the best defenseman in the league to me, so he's obviously better than OEL, but they're still good. I think this is the year Jacob Chekrin's going to be able to step in and be able to play in that top four role. He doesn't have to be that number two guy behind OEL this year. He can be a number three guy. He can handle those minutes. Should be able to handle those minutes. He's an explosive skater. Doesn't have a bad shot, but his skating's his number one ability. And then you have Luke Shen, which only if you could realize half the potential he had when he was drafted. But Luke Shen's that's a hole right there. When you get down, they have Alex Goligoski. He's a fine number 6, but obviously the holes in their defense are number 4 and number 5 defensemen. Their goalies, to me, obviously their 7th defenseman to me is just Kevin Cunningham. Doesn't really matter that much unless there's an injury, and it could hurt. But their goalies, if like I said, Antti Ranta needs to step in, prove that he's able to handle that number 1 time. And you have Louis Domingue, I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name, behind him. He should be able to step in and probably play 20 games. It shouldn't be that big of a load on him, but yeah, there's a lot of goaltending shifts, but I feel like Ranta could do pretty well. And Arizona shouldn't have a problem scoring goals this year, because if you look at it, that first line, I think Domi can put in 25. If Keller proves that he's the real deal, that's another 25, and then Tobias Reeder's probably like a 15. So on your first line, you have 65 goals. The second line, Lawson Krause, I think he's good for 20 goals. I think Dylan Strome probably will put in 15 in his rookie year, unless he develops that goal scoring ability even farther. And you have Anthony Duclair, who I think can probably put in 20. So on your second line, you have 55. So in the first two lines, they have 120 goals, and that's not bad goal scoring now. I really don't think that you're going to get much. You could probably get 15 out of Dvorak, probably close to 20 out of Stefan, maybe not. Brandon Perlini, I'd say about like 8, 9. Cousins is probably like a 6. McGinn's probably like a 3, and Richardson's probably like a 4. So that's really like 130, 150, 100. I think they're going to be around that 150 goal mark, kind of middle of the pack. They shouldn't have a big problem at scoring goals, but I feel like their problem will be keeping the puck out of the net, because their bottom 4 defensemen, like Adam Clendenning, no. Alex Goligoski, the overpaid Alex Goligoski, is not that good anymore. Then you have Luke Shen, and that's definitely gonna hurt them. That's gonna hurt them. So yeah, and you obviously have Ekman Larson, who to me is good for 20 goals. So they shouldn't have a problem scoring goals. What they might have a problem with, though, is keeping the puck out of the net, and especially if they don't have the consistent goal scoring from consistent goal scoring from Antti Ranta, consistency in net from Antti Ranta, things might not be looking good in Arizona. But if you look at where I have them finishing is 6th. Okay, I get it. That's pretty low. I mean, you never know. If Clayton Keller, I don't think he's going to be like Matthews to score 40 goals in his rookie year, but you don't know. I mean, if you look at the teams ahead of him, I don't see him leapfrogging the Kings. I see the Kings getting a little bit better, but I don't see him improving that much. I don't see him leapfrogging the Sharks. I don't see him leapfrogging the Ducks, and I definitely don't see him even coming close to the Flames or the Oilers. So I don't see him really making it in their division until maybe next year, if they add that another defenseman. But I don't really know what's there. And for me to improve is obviously they need that 4, 5, and 6 defenseman. That's an obvious hole in their lineup. They need first and second line right winger, unless unless, I mean, Domi's fine there. I mean, Domi's on the left wing. Unless Anthony Duclair can make that easy transition over to the right side, they're going to need that first and second line right winger because Tobias Reeder, probably a third line left winger, so, or third line right winger. And they obviously have two left wingers playing over on the right side, which may not be good. They need, if the Coyotes are going to succeed, Clayton Keller needs to be the real deal. He needs to show that he can be that number one center, step in and be the guy. He needs to be the guy up, down in Arizona. If he can't do that, things are going to be bad. And another thing, Dylan Strome needs to show that he improved his foot speed, he improved his goal scoring ability, and you never know. That could be a really good pairing because I think Keller's good for. He could probably get 70 points if you look at it. 20 goals, 50 assists. It depends on how his line mates go. Like, if Max Domi comes back, I think he got injured. If Domi comes back and proves he can play, that's going to help. That's going to help Clayton Keller, and it's definitely going to help the Coyotes. So, tell me what you guys think. Do you guys think the Coyotes are even going to come close to the playoffs, or do you even think they might be last in the East again? And you never know. They could tank to try and get Andrei Svechnikov, right winger. He's going to be good, and that could be good, but that's a different video to talk about. And yeah, tell me what you guys think of the Coyotes. If you think I messed up their lines, if you think I messed up something else, and if you don't like what I said about something, tell me why. And if you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like. And if you really liked it, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It's free. Actually, no, just hit the subscribe button no matter what. But thank you guys for watching. That'll be it for this video. And just one last thing to say. Their additions definitely outweighed their loss. Actually, not now. It's confusing to have where they rank because you have the Kings, who to me are on the decline. They're a slow team in a fast league. That's not going to help, and it didn't help at all. They added a young guy in Velarde, but guess what Velarde's problem is? His skating. So I don't know. They could get over the Kings, but I don't know. I think they'll be close, but they're not going to do it. Unless Ronta can come in and prove he's the guy. If Ronta's the guy over there, if he can do that, that's good for them, but I still see him finishing sixth, and it just shows that there really are no bad teams in the league. Besides Colorado, obviously Colorado's trash, but there really are no bad teams in the league anymore. But yeah, there's obviously all the tanking of Vancouver and everything, and then Arizona's been bad for a while, but there are no really bad teams. And just tell me what you guys think. If you guys like the Coyotes' future, if you like their chances, and if you like their moves in the offseason. And tell me if you don't like them. Tell me if you do. If you guys like the video, if you like what I said, hit the like button. Also subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. That'll be it. Thank you.